Thank you for joining PDR Live. Please like the channel and subscribe to our channel. Okay, perfect. So this just in, according to CNN and other news networks, there's a man who was apprehended at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and he's been taken into custody for questioning in the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson's assassination. Apparently, he was apprehended, and when law enforcement authorities apprehended him, he had in his possession a firearm similar to the one that was used, authorities believe, in the killing of Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO. The person in question is allegedly a 26-year-old, and he had on him a fake ID. It says here that the 26-year-old was picked up at a McDonald's in Altoona after an employee thought he resembled the man in New York Police Department photos and called police, the official said. He also had fake IDs, including one that NYPD believes was used by the suspect in New York, they said. So police in Altoona, about 280 miles from the Midtown Manhattan hotel where United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was fatally shot, responded to the call, picked up the man, and searched him, the sources said. The man also had a 2-page document railing against the healthcare industry and suggesting violence is the answer, a police official who has seen the document told CNN. Altoona police are waiting for NYPD detectives who are en route. The sprawling manhunt for whoever shot Thompson on December 4th has intensified as it crossed state lines. The suspect was believed to have left New York City on an interstate bus, police officials said, after video cameras captured him entering the George Washington Bridge bus station on 178th Street, but not leaving. So there it is, folks. That's the breaking news right now. It broke about 2 hours ago, and we also have this here from NBC News, and I believe also that the mayor came out and spoke a couple of minutes ago as well. But I'll take you here to a video here from NBC here.
In connection to last week's shooting. Sources familiar with the matter say he was found with a gun similar to the one used to kill Thompson at point-blank range outside of a New York City hotel.
Now, all of this comes after the NYPD released these new images of a person of interest wanted for questioning over the weekend. They were taken from a taxi camera, and one photo shows someone outside the car, while the second shows them looking through a partition from the back seat. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock joins us now with the latest from here in New York City. Sam, we do want to make clear that we do not actually know if the person being questioned is the same individual who appears in those images released by police, or even in the video that was taken outside the Midtown Hotel. But what can you tell us so far, and what do the most recent photos sort of show us? Describe what details they give us.
Sure. So, Morgan, first of all, to underscore your point, we do not know that the person who is being questioned right now is, in fact, the person of interest that the NYPD and all these other police agencies have been looking for the last almost 6 days. Now, here's what we definitively do know. A man is being questioned at this hour in Altoona, Pennsylvania. That is about a 4.5-hour drive from where I'm standing in Midtown Manhattan, where the shooting took place. And we also, guys, know that NYPD detectives are on their way there right now to assist in this questioning. My colleagues, Tom Winter and Jonathan Dienst, have some additional editorial to provide here. One of them, that 3 senior officials say that customers at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, phoned authorities to say that they found someone there who was suspicious that needed to be investigated. What prompted that specifically, whether it is his appearance or something else, not clear. Two other officials then say that when authorities arrived, they found a fake ID on that person in addition to the weapon that you just described, this sort of odd type of gun. Authorities, chief of detectives had talked about the fact they were potentially looking for a veterinary gun, which is not common at all. And it appears that the gun that was found on this individual may be similar to the one that was used in the crime. So you have the fake ID. You have the gun. And with respect to the fake identification, we know, guys, the police were also investigating whether or not the person of interest used a fake ID from New Jersey at that Upper West Side hostel. So a lot of the pieces lining up. But Morgan, again, to your point, we do not know right now whether this is or is not the person of interest who is being questioned.
Right.
Sam, we do know that funeral arrangements have been made for Brian Thompson. What can you tell us about that?
Sure. So, Vicky, we have learned that he is going to have a funeral today, sadly, and that it's going to be a private service. Beyond that, there's not a lot of additional news or information that we have. Certainly for his family, this has been a deeply saddening time, and it's also been one that's rocked that community in Minneapolis. Overnight, we did find out about the fact that there was fencing going up at United Healthcare, as well as a police trailer, as there's been so much anger and obviously so many security concerns regarding the industry, the insurance industry, but certainly executives that work within that field as well, as that area, Maple Grove of Minneapolis, trying to process still, no doubt, what happened here last week.
So there you have it, folks. You have the mainstream media here really concerned about the welfare of the healthcare CEOs in corporate America. So I'll take you right now to a press conference from the mayor that was completed several minutes ago, apparently. So ABC News was live when the mayor spoke several minutes ago. So I'll take you to that right now.
Murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. They say he's identified as 26-year-old Luigi Mangione. Here's New York City Mayor Eric Adams with an update.
Thompson of United Healthcare was the victim of a senseless act of violence. Our officers have been working around the clock. Many of them did not go home to pursue this individual. It was crucial that we were able to remove him off the streets of America, and we were going to seek him out no matter where he was at the time. And so this is a strong person of interest. The police commissioner and chief of detectives will go over where we are right now in the investigation. He matches the description of the identification we've been looking for. He's also in possession of several items that we believe will connect him to this incident. How did we do it? Good old-fashioned police work. The chief of detectives and the police commissioner made the decision to release as much of a photo that we had at the time. We sent it across the country, and someone, a McDonald's employee, did something we ask every American to do. If you see something, say something, but most importantly, do something. And they did. And because of that, we believe we have a strong person of interest to deal with this case. I want to now turn it over to the police commissioner of the city of New York, Commissioner Tisch.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Earlier this morning in Altoona, Pennsylvania, members of the Altoona Police Department arrested Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old male, on firearms charges. At this time, he is believed to be our person of interest in the brazen targeted murder of Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, last Wednesday in Midtown Manhattan. The suspect was in a McDonald's and was recognized by an employee who then called local police. Responding officers questioned the suspect, who was acting suspiciously and was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs as well as a U.S. passport. Upon further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person, as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder. They also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with those worn by our wanted individual. Also recovered was a fraudulent New Jersey ID, matching the ID our suspect used to check into his New York City hostel before the shooting incident. Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset. NYPD detectives are en route to Pennsylvania as we seek to interview the subject further. This apprehension is thanks to the tireless work of the greatest detectives in the world, and of course, the strong relationships we have with our local law enforcement partners. On every level, local, state, and federal, we all serve the same public safety mission. And this case, which captured the attention of an entire nation, is another example of how connected we are and how important it is to work together, share information, and pursue every lead. For just over 5 days, our NYPD investigators combed through thousands of hours of video, followed up on hundreds of tips, and processed every bit of forensic evidence, DNA, fingerprints, IP addresses, and so much more to tighten the net. We deployed drones, canine units, and scuba divers. We leveraged the domain awareness system, Argus cameras, and conducted aviation canvasses. And our detectives also went door to door, interviewing potential witnesses and doing the good old-fashioned police work that our investigators are famous for. This combination of old-school detective work and new-age technology is what led to this result today. And we must also acknowledge the instrumental role the media and the public played in this case. The images that we shared with the public were spread far and wide, and the tips we received led to the recovery of crucial evidence. We should never underestimate the power of the public to be our eyes and our
the Manhattan District Attorney's Office to interview this subject. This case was brought to a successful conclusion based on the coordinated effort between numerous NYPD units, including the Intelligence and Counterterrorism Bureau, our federal partners at the FBI, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and of course, members of the Altoona Police Department in Pennsylvania. On Thursday, one day after this crime was committed, the NYPD released a photo of the shooter in this case. This picture was obtained by the NYPD during one of their extensive video canvasses. We took that photograph and we asked for the public's help in identifying this subject, and the public responded. Hundreds of tips began to pour into our hotline.
So
Each
are they
tip was
going
investigated
to
thoroughly,
investigate the
and we
people
began to
who
release
this company
additional
killed,
photographs as they came
United
into our
Healthcare?
possession.
Are they going to look
The
into how
NYPD
many
provided
people
these
they killed
photos to
in New York?
numerous media outlets.
We shall
Local,
see.
national, and international outlets released the photo via television, print, social media, and online content. Luckily, a citizen in Pennsylvania recognized our subject and called local law enforcement. Members of the Altoona Police Department responded to the call, and based on their investigation, they notified the NYPD. This investigation is still active and ongoing. Thank you very much.
We're going to take questions on shooting first, and then we'll... Mark?
I had a couple questions about the document that he was found in possession with. Can you go a little bit more in depth about those motivations that you mentioned? Was that CEO specifically named in that document? Was there anything more about him wanting to go after others? And also in that document, was there any indication that explains us how the level of detail that he went into killing him? Like, is there anything?
Like I said, that document is currently in the possession of the Altoona Police Department as part of their investigation. But just from briefly speaking with them, we don't think that there's any specific threats to other people mentioned in that document. But it does seem that he has some ill will toward corporate America.
Over here, sir.
NJ?
Chief, was the suspect wearing a mask at the time he was spotted in the McDonald's? And also, criminal cases often have a linchpin. Can you point to a single linchpin that helped crack this case?
There's numerous linchpins in this case, in the fact that we've recovered an enormous amount of forensic evidence, an enormous amount of video, and once again, with your help and the public's help. So I really couldn't put it on one thing, but if I had to, it would be the release of that photograph from the media.
You said he had a passport on him. Do you believe he was trying to flee the country? And also, are you still looking for any evidence in Central Park in regards to the bike?
We had divers in the water yesterday. That came up negative results. The passport, we don't believe that he was planning on doing any traveling. At this time, we don't think at this point in our investigation, we don't think he was trying to flee the country.
The person at McDonald's, were they buying food? What were they doing at that exact moment?
He was an employee at the McDonald's.
Right. But what was the suspect doing?
He was sitting there eating.
Will the suspect be brought back to New York and charged here, and when?
We're going to have to work that out with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office in Altoona, Pennsylvania. He's going to be facing gun charges there, and at some point we'll work out through extradition to bring him back to New York to face charges here, working with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office.
Anita? Hi, Anita from the New York Post. I was just hoping to get more details on the capture itself. Did he put up a fight? Did he say anything to cops? And we've also reported that he published online anti-health care industry rantings. Can you share with us some of the services that he posted on?
We're still working through his social media. We're going to do a complete scrub of that. Preliminarily, like I said, he seems that he has some ill will toward corporate America, but that will all come out as part of our investigation. We're not done here. We're still going to be putting this together. We're still going to be working very hard to bring this to a successful conclusion.
And the capture itself, did he put up a fight? Did he say anything to police?
I don't have that information.
Oh, sorry. Can you elaborate on how he got there, the path he took from Port Authority and on the George Washington Bridge to Altoona, PA? Same
thing. This just happened this morning. We'll be backtracking his steps from New York to Altoona, Pennsylvania.
I was going to ask if he knew anything, if he took a bus to Philadelphia first and then somehow got to Altoona. But
We're still working on that. We're still working through that.
Britain. Is there any indication that anybody else was helping him from the inside, as far as tracking the CEO's movements?
Once again, we're still working this investigation very hard. It's not at its conclusion yet. That could come out during our investigation, but as of right now, we have no indication that took place.
Chief, did he have any weapons or anything like that with him when he was arrested?
He was in possession of a ghost gun that had the capability of firing a 9mm round and a suppressor.
Joe?
Can you get into a little bit about the technical aspects of the investigation? I know you deployed an unprecedented amount of technology. You also activated the Sentry program through Intel. Can you talk about how that is going to play into actually building the case as far as cell phone and all of the other technical aspects of what you've done?
In this case, it really came down to technology was the use of drones in Central Park, and really comes down to the video canvas that we did. We used every source of video that we could collect, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours from hundreds of sources, and that helped bring this to where we are right now.
The gun is it believed to be the gun he used in the shooting? And there was some talk that it was a veterinarian type gun. Is that accurate?
No, as of right now, the information we're getting from Altoona is that the gun appears to be a ghost gun, may have been made on a 3D printer. The capability of firing a 9mm round, obviously that will come out during our ballistics testing.
Oliver?
Yeah, Oliver Barnes from the Financial Times. Do you have any indication like how long this handwritten, is it a handwritten manifesto that you found on the suspect? And then also whether or not he put it online at all?
Don't know if it's online. As of right now, it's a handwritten 3-page document.
Chief, does he have ties to that area, and was he someone who you knew by name before his arrest?
We believe he may have attended college in Pennsylvania, but like I said earlier, he has ties to Maryland and California and Hawaii.
You knew him by name before today. Was his name on your radar?
Excuse me?
Was his name on your radar? Was he someone who you had been looking into before his arrest?
No, we did not have his name prior to today.
Brent, sorry. Does he have any prior arrests? I know there were none for New York City, but is there any prior arrests anywhere else in the country?
We have not come across any arrests in the country.
Chief, hi, how are you? On two things. On the ghost gun, is it something you're going to be looking into to see if he made it himself and can he make that himself? Or would he have to buy the gun the way it was?
No, once again, that'll be part of our investigation as we follow up.
I mean, obviously he's going to face murder charges, but is there any chance that he could face any other charges because he was targeting the CEO and because of his writings and other things that we're now finding on him? Federal charges or
that determination will be made by Alvin Bragg.
Yes, what connections does he have in Pennsylvania that you know of, and are they in Altoona specifically?
We believe he attended college in Pennsylvania.
Does he know anybody in Pennsylvania?
Wouldn't be able to tell you that.
All right, we're going to take one more question from Shooting Marla, and then we're going to go.
Is there,
You talk about the manifesto having said things against corporations, but specifically United Healthcare, and do you believe that Mangione acted alone?
We believe at this point, our investigation is leaning toward he was acting alone. So, like I stated earlier, we're still working through the investigation. We're not stopping today. And as far as the manifesto, like I said, I don't have the complete details of that. It's in the possession of the Altoona Police Department.
We're going to shift to off
Yep. Good job, Chief. Commissioner, Chief Maggi.
We've been listening there to New York City officials confirming a person of interest is now being questioned in the New York City murder of United Healthcare.
So there you have it, folks. This is a 26-year-old Luigi Mangione. And if you heard just right now, the chief of the New York Police Department just admitted that they actually did not have his name. They didn't know who he was prior to this arrest. So there was the mayor sending mixed messages the last couple of days, kind of insinuating that they did have his name, but they actually didn't. So
Altoona,
and this is what
Pennsylvania,
they're
recognized him from.
So it's really nothing that the NYPD did.
Gun offenses. He had a 9mm ghost gun capable of firing a 9mm round.
They got lucky because an employee at a McDonald's in
in
Pennsylvania
the Brian Thompson
recognized
case.
him.
The
So they
authorities
had no
credited
leads.
Good old-fashioned police
on him.
work with getting that image out from the countless hours of surveillance footage from 60,000 surveillance cameras in New York City, and then the heads up member of the public who called it in. But until that moment,
Right, but you know, you had all this surveillance, but he was still able to get away from the state, and that's one they're not mentioning there. But yeah, folks, so that's basically it there. Luigi Mangione, 26-year-old. Apparently, he was born in Maryland and raised there, and he went to college in Pennsylvania. And the authorities claim also that he has lived in California and recently in Hawaii. So that'll be it for today, or actually not for today, for this moment. Please like our live stream and subscribe to our channel. This has been a PDR Live with the late breaking news that suspect in the assassination of UHC CEO Brian Thompson has been taken into questioning by Altoona police in Pennsylvania, and the NYPD detectives are en route, or were en route, when we started this live stream, to take him into custody. And of course, like they mentioned in the press conference, he does face weapons charges against this individual because he did have a firearm on him in his possession when he was apprehended. So he will have to face firearm charges in Pennsylvania first before he is charged in New York. Or the authorities, I guess, maybe will figure that out, how they're going to proceed in that case. Thank you so much, folks, and have a great rest of the day.